Welcome to FrameNet's nomination system. Thank you for being our analyst. You are an important part of the human-in-the-loop process, and this project is not possible without contribution from analysts like you. There are various responsibilities that analysts should keep in mind in this process. First, please follow the instruction and pay close attention to your tasks. Second, be mindful and responsible for the manual annotation you made. Those annotations are important for the whole system to develop with better functionality and efficiency. Third, please complete and submit your task on time. First, please communicate with your administrator when you need some additional support. To get you started, let's first look at the Berkeley FrameNet projects. The FrameNet project is building a analytical database of English that is both human and machine readable, based on annotating examples of how words are used in actual text. And the hypothesis of FrameNet project is that people understand things by performing mental operations on what they already know. Such knowledge is describable in terms of information packets called frames. The core work of FrameNet, including characterized frame, found words that fit the frames, develop descriptive terminology, extract sample sentence, annotate static example, derive valence descriptions. The basic data structure of frame, including three parts: frame elements, logical unions, and frame-to-frame relations. Let's first look at the frame. By the definition of frame is a script-like conceptual structure that describes a particular type of situation, object, or event along with its participant and props. And for example, the applied heat frame describes a common situation involving a cook, some food, and a heating instrument, and is also invoked by words such as bake, boil, brown, shimmer, steam. We call those frame elements and the frame invoking word logical unions in applied heat frame. For logical union is a pairing of words with a meaning. Typically, each sense of polysemous word belongs to a different semantic frame. In the simple case, the frame invoking logical union is a verb, and the frame elements are its syntactic dependents. And for frame elements, a frame element is a frame-specific defined semantic role that is the basic union of a frame. For frame-to-frame relations, by definition, is linking frames to each other through the following frame relations. In the example of revenge frame, revenge enhances punishment reward frame, and revenge frame use the hostile encounter frame. Let's talk about frame blending theory. This section of tutorial is a brief summary of the chapter Frame Blending by Professor Mark Turner in the book Frame Corporal and Knowledge Representations. According to the frame blending theory, the conceptual integration, also called blending, is a basic mental operation that works on conceptual arrays to produce conceptual integration networks, and center conceptual arrays provide inputs to the network. Effectively, projection from the input conceptual arrays and from the relation between the carry elements in relation to a blended conceptual array as often has an emergent structure of its own, and this blended conceptual array is referred as a blend. The theory of frame blending can be super complicated. To better elaborate on that, the conceptual integration always has as its goal the creation of conceptual integration network, but any of the arrays in the network can have provided the original basics of the network creations. Also, work can be done on any of the participant array during the construction of the network, and there can be mutual input and successive and iterative blends. There can be, and also usually are, hyperblends that have blends as the inputs. A conceptual array can be decompressed in interesting ways so as to create a network in which the original conceptual array ultimately counts as a blend. And also, emergent structure should be thought as arising not only or even chiefly in the blend, but rather in the entire network. There are four types of frame blends. First, simplex network. A simplex network is a conceptual integration network in which one input space has a familiar abstract frame that is designed to embrace certain kinds of values, and the other input space is relatively specific situation presenting just such values. And second, the mirror networks. In a mirror network, two input space share topology given by an organizing frame, and the blends inherited that organizing frame. The single-score networks. A conceptual integration network is single-scope if the inputs have different organizing frame, and only one of those frames is projected to organize the blend. The double-score networks. A conceptual integration network is double-scope if different input frames are blended into a blended frame, whose organizing frame level structure including Analysts some organizing structure from each of the two input frames that is not shared by the others. Let's first look at this example. A politician is filtering a foreigner ad bill that he is snatching the rice ball out of the child's hand. Many actions serially and in parallel along paths that in principle lead from the political resolution of the foreigner ad bill to differences. A snatching frame carries a directly emotion reaction. In snatching frame, the children could attack, call for help, question, or publicly accuse, and the adult would be obligated to do something with the rest in the ball, such as eating the rest, throw out the ball, giving rest to someone else. Many elements and reactions are projected to the blend from the diffuse network frame by political actions. In the political input, the politician has personal impunity and power and is subject to only his own local conditions. It's easy to pick out clashes between input frames in the example. In the political frame, the possession is actively taken away, but in the snatching frame, the children's rightful possession is taken away. The actions of taking away is projected to the blend from snatching frame. In the political frame, the president does not personally receive the foreign ad that would have been distributed had he not voted the bill. But in the snatching frame, the rice ball initially held by the children is now held by the adult. Snatching politicians integration one good example of frame blending cases. So in this example, he is snatching the rice ball out of the child's hands. The snatching politician become a good example of frame blending cases. Let's look at the second example. Vanity is the quicksand of reason. The projections from organizing frame of the quicksand input are very opposite. The blend inherited a traveler, a past child, distant child, motion, a potential trap, the rest motion, so on. But frame level projections come from the reason input as well. Consider first intentional structure. A reasoner can be unaware of his failure even when his failure is very clear objectively. The potential lack of awareness is projected to the blend, in which the traveler or reason can be unaware of being the quicksand. In the blend, the traveler or reason can be deluded, view himself as perfectly rational, obviously to the fact that he is in fact have been trapped for so long. The intentional structure conflicts with the frame of the quicksand input, in which it is conventionally to be ignorant at once in the quicksand. Consider causal structure from the reasoning input. Reasoning can lead to vanity about one's reasoning, which can lead in turn to diminished reason. The structure projected to help organize the blend. In the blend, the quicksand or vanity existed for the reasoner, but not for the person whose mind is merely wandering, even though they are both travelers. Now consider the structure of rows in the reason input. There is only one reasoning capacity. The structure of rows conflict with the quicksand input, where there may be several equal travelers. So in summary, although the frame level projections to blend from the quicksand input are very obviously, there are frame level projections of intentional, causal, modal, and the row structure from the reason input to help organizing the blend. And these projections conflict with the frame of the quicksand input. So the frame blends in these cases are double score. So I just showed example of frame blends in text, but there are tons of other examples of frame blends in image or in video. If you pay enough attention to it, you can find the trick. In this section, to make you familiar with the interface, I will show you how to do a sample work as an analyst on the Rapid Annotator interface. First, go to the page to get the latest version of Rapid Annotator. And then register with your email if it's your first time to use Rapid Annotator. Now you are on your home page. Your name will appear on administrator's annotator list if you finish the registration process, and they are able to assign annotation tasks to you. Once your tasks are assigned by the administrator, and you see your tasks under the tab of Equipment to Annotate, you can simply click the name of the project, and you can work now. You can simply click True with hotkey T or False with hotkey F or Not Sure with hotkey N to record your manual annotation. You will see your task case by case as below, and the progress bar is on the top of the screen, and you can see how many cases needed to complete this whole project. You can undo one case by clicking the button Undo. Once you complete and submit your task, you will not be able to go back and change your answers. And if you are unsure about something, make sure you click Not Sure. And if you have additional questions or comments about some cases, please reach out to the administrator for additional support. Thank you for watching this video. That's all. Hoping you enjoy making frame blend nomination. Stay in touch.